welcome to Chicago's Tomorrow Interviews Chicago Today, brought to you by UCAN. I'm Dorian Robinson. Today, I'll be speaking with Dr. Wendy Borlabi, a performance psychologist who is also the performance coach for the Chicago Bulls. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I am as well. So, please explain to me what a performance psychologist is.
Sure. So, when you think about any job, any career, you always have to perform.
Right.
And you always like to say performance is performance is performance. Whether it's in sports, whether you're in real estate, whether you are a teacher, you still have to perform your best, right? So what I do is I help specifically athletes perform better. So anything off the court that affects them from performing on the court is what I help them with. And that could be relationships to anxiety prior to performing. It could be that they are not in the game as much and they only get to play maybe like 6 minutes, and so they want to maximize that 6 minutes and not spend a minute or two getting into the game, and then they only have 4 minutes to show their stuff. So, so things like that I help them with.
So let's talk about your challenges. Like, what have been some of your biggest challenges that you faced in becoming who you are today?
Sure. I think the biggest one was something I learned in my master's program. My professor said to me in my first year that if I wanted to be an applied sports psychologist, I'm trying to get the exact words because it was very powerful. He stated to me that I might want to rethink working with athletes.
Wow. Because
sports psychology is a lily white field of white men that are not going to allow an African American woman to come in and take their jobs. And that was a
wake-up call.
Right,
for sure.
Yeah. I'm so glad he said it, and this is from a white male, and he said this to me, and I'm so glad he said it to me because that was oh, okay, so now I know what I'm facing.
Yep.
And so that's been that challenge of having to prove that I actually know what I'm doing.
For sure.
So that's one of the challenges, and the other is also is just being a female.
All right.
I work mostly with males, and so there's that challenge in trying to. And it's not working with them. That's not the problem. It's the when do I go into the locker room?
Right.
When it's time to get in the locker room. When I'm traveling.
So, being the sports psychologist you are, you're the expert here. What would it take for me, as an athlete, to become someone like you as a performance psychologist?
Obviously, get your bachelor's, but
Okay.
I think that you need to get 2 master's degrees.
Okay.
You need one in kinesiology or sports psychology, and then you need another one either in clinical psychology or counseling psychology, but you need to be able to have a licensure of some sort.
Okay.
And that's because what will happen is when a team hires you or an individual hires you, they may want you to work on performance anxiety, which is strictly performance. But if something else comes into play, if you don't have that psychology degree, then you're going to have to refer them to somebody else as opposed to you
doing it yourself.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
And it's getting nowhere, not even getting nowhere. It is where teams want to just offer, or I should say, just want to hire one person.
All right.
Why hire 2 when you can
have one? Yeah.
Exactly. You can have one. So I would suggest that you get both of those degrees. You don't have to have your doctorate, but you need to get your master's in sports psychology and then a master's so you can get some kind of a licensure in clinical counseling psychology. Okay.
How do you see performance psychology being impactful in the future?
Actually, really huge. The NFL made a mandate, I think about a month ago, that every team has to hire somebody by this season. So there's a lot of teams scrambling because they have to have somebody. Major League Baseball is way ahead of the curve. They've been
there.
Oh my gosh! I mean, the Cubs have like a team for their minor leagues. I think there's like 5 or 6 people that work with the minor league teams. Okay. And they're not the only team that does that. The Major League Baseball is so far advanced behind, and then so the NFL made this mandate. The NBA is not going to be too far behind that they're going to have to do that. So college and universities are getting in that realm as well. And so I think in about another 5 years, it's going to be huge in that any major sport and even universities you're gonna have a sports psychologist there.
Great.
Because I think it's really important. I mean, it's one of the things that I tell athletes in that I am somebody that has absolutely nothing to do with your money or your playing time. I'm completely neutral.
Right.
So I don't want anything from you. I don't need anything from you. So it's just a complete benefit just to have someone to talk to that's not going to yes sir you that they get all the time, right? Because somebody wants something from you. I don't want anything from you. So it's just a neutral person you can have that conversation with, and so you know it's a huge benefit. So I think that's where we're going to be going with the field.
Thank you so much, Dr. B, for being here.
Thank you for having me. This has been really, really great. I appreciate it.
I agree. This has been Dorian Robinson for Chicago's Tomorrow Interviews Chicago Today, brought to you by UCAN.